everybody. Welcome back to the Vinyl Brew Lounge Side B Session Podcast. My name is Bobby Hunter, and today we've got another Bobby on the show. This is Bobby Alcott, who's got quite a storied history. And Bobby, this is kind of the thing where I almost feel as if I can't ask you, what have you done? It's almost as if, what haven't you done? So Bobby, so Bobby Alcott, welcome to the Side B Session Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Bobby. It's great. I appreciate it.
Good. So you've got kind of a long history here in music and photography. So I'm just going to give a brief little summation of what I found on you online. You are a commercial photographer. You've been singing as a session singer for 20 plus years, right? About that?
Yeah, 36 years now.
Oh, 36 years. Okay,
Good
so we'll say
gravy. Yeah.
Goes fast, huh? 36 years. You did a stint as the Detroit Tigers national anthem singer, 250 commercials under your belt, and it all started at a karaoke bar in 1990. And now, by a strange twist of fate, I wouldn't even say luck, I'd say it's talent and fate, you are now one of the lead singers of one of the largest cover tribute bands on the planet, Leonid and Friends. Welcome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a crazy, wild roller coaster, but it's just been now it's the kind of everything's culminating in the best time musically of my life. It's fantastic.
That's and your voice is still holding up, obviously.
Yeah, and I think it's maybe, some musicians, when you see them later in their careers, and they, not this band, really not this band, but especially a lot of major bands, 70s, 80s, 90s, there was a lot going on behind the scenes, and vocal health wasn't necessarily on the top of their list, on the top of their priorities. And
right.
So some of these guys just, have gone through it, and their voices just can't really hold up anymore. Some can. I mean, some like Paul Rodgers and guys like that can stay, well over 70 that sound amazing.
Still sounds amazing.
It's just kind of the road life for you. But my voice is held up because I've really only done studio sessions now for this long. I've had a band here or there,
right.
But I've been able to kind of keep my voice healthy, and I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker, so I've been lucky with that.
So yeah, Bobby, so your voice has held up because you just said you don't drink, you don't smoke, and you've been doing this 36 years, and you've taken care of your voice, obviously.
Yeah. I've been lucky
good.
that way. It's just a lot of people just, the road life can dig into a lot of singers, especially, some of the guys who have really been through that life from the 70s, 80s, 90s and lived hard lives. We'll put it that way. And
right.
I was lucky to kind of avoid all that.
And so we spoke briefly this morning, so I want to go back to the beginning of how all this started. You're in college in Michigan State?
Yeah, Michigan State.
And you're at a karaoke. How old were you? A karaoke bar.
I had just turned 21, and I grew up a drummer, so I didn't really honestly have any idea I could sing. I knew, like, I would sing to myself in the car like everybody else, or the shower, but I didn't think I had any serious talent. And then, one night they opened this brand new thing up called a karaoke bar. It was brand new. And, buddies of mine and we went, maybe one or two nights. And then I think it was the third night we went, everybody had just enough to drink, and, I had the courage, and I got up and I did a song, and the guy who was running the karaoke show that night, was a guy named Angus McIntosh, who I'm still really good friends with. And he came to me after that song, and he kind of whispered in my ear, and he said, "Can you come have dinner at my restaurant tomorrow night with me at 6:00?" And I thought, yeah, man, free food. That sounds great.
Right. You're in college. Why not? Yeah.
I didn't really understand why, but I showed up, and he has a beautiful had a beautiful restaurant, and it's tons of people in there. And I get seated at his table, and he's sitting next to another guy I'd never seen before. And then all of a sudden, out from under the table, he whips out a jam box, and he sets it on the table, and he pushes play, and it's me singing that song from the night before.
What was the song?
It was a song called "At This Moment" by Billy Vera and the Beaters. It's kind of a obscure song, but it was a song from Family Ties. The show.
Yeah, was it the soundtrack? I know the song.
Yeah, and I don't even know why I picked it, but it was I knew the song, so I thought I'd do it. Anyway, and he's playing this, and there's a room full of people just listening to this now, and I still do not understand what the hell's going on. And I'm like, is this like literally like candid camera? I could not figure it out. And the song ends, and there's like this nice polite clap from the entire room, and I'm red faced because I just don't get it. Yeah. And then Angus said, my friend here, Don, is a talent agent, and he wants to sign you to a contract. And I thought, contract to do what?
Right.
They said, you should be a singer, and we're going to sign you to a contract to do commercials, and you're going to appear with bands and stuff like that. Does this sound like something you want to do? And I said, does it pay money?
Does it make me money?
Sure. Yeah. And I said, sounds great. I don't know what I'm doing, but sign me up.
That is awesome.
That was it. Yeah. It was like 2-3 weeks later, they sent me to a place called Harvest Music Productions in Lansing. I met the staff. They said, you want to try a commercial? I went in. I have never done it since, but I did the whole thing in one take. And they said, can you come back next week for more? And I've been doing it ever since.
That's amazing. And just so were you a senior in college? What was going on?
Yeah, it was my 4th/junior year. I wasn't a great student. But yeah, and I had just met my now wife. And so she's been along with this ride the entire time.
Dude, that's amazing. And you say to yourself, like, what if picture this too. If you never went to the karaoke bar, would you have gotten into all this singing? You were drumming, right?
I honestly have no idea. I always loved music, and I always loved doing it, but I never thought of myself as a singer. If something else had come along at some point, maybe, but I think it was the encouragement and the belief that those two guys had in me, and the studio had in me, that I just turned on the courage and turned on the confidence and took it from there. I've still never had a singing lesson. I went and saw a singing coach earlier this year to learn some breathing techniques and some warm-up techniques, but I've never had lessons. I've just always kind of gotten away with it, for a lack of a better term.
Well, I've done a lot of reading into, I've rock star biographies, autobiographies, and a lot of people just have this raw talent. Some of the best singers out there, like they've never even, they just started. Yeah. Randomly started. It's amazing. So, but here you are doing this, maybe a little bit drunk, you're a drummer and you're in school and you're like, oh, what the hell? I'll get up and try it. And bam.
That was it. I hate to, and it's, I don't know whether it has been, I'd love to say that I've romanticized the story over years, but it's literally exactly how it happened. And, it just kind of shows it can happen to anybody.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's amazing.
90% of success is showing up, and so I'm kind of living proof of that.
That's awesome. So here you are. You're in your 20s. You're doing you're a singer in multiple like commercials, bands. What are you doing?
Yeah, in my 20s, my wife and I got married in '93, and we moved to Champaign, Illinois. So I started doing some commercials in that area and in Indianapolis, because that was about a 2-hour drive. That wasn't too bad. And then I started a band with other guys called My Brother's Keeper. We were based out of Champaign, Urbana. and we had a 2-year run. It was fantastic, and it was same kind of music that Leonid plays. It was Chicago, Tower of Power, that whole mix of horn rock from the 70s, and
Steely Dan, like that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all those guys. It was a 10-piece band. 9 of them were either music majors or literally music like doctorate candidates, and me, I still can't really read music. So being with them was fantastic. That was a fantastic band, full of great guys. But like all bands, it blew up spectacularly at the wrong time.
It always happens, right? And the people I've met doing this show, I mean, they all say the same thing. It comes amazing. To a head. Yeah.
It was. It could have been the worst time. We had just released an album. We were talking about doing a tour of Japan, which we thought this would have been perfect, and then it all blew up.
Blew up, huh?
Yeah, it's just it happens, and
I guess
we're still all good friends, but sometimes it just doesn't. The personalities just don't mesh.
Yeah, I get it. And life goes on. So your past is session singer, commercials. How did you get into just out of curiosity, this whole Detroit Tiger national anthem gig? How did that come about?
Well, my wife and I lived in downtown Detroit from 2000 to 2008, 2009, and we lived on Woodward Avenue. If you know Detroit, that's kind of the main road that goes north and south. And we lived literally a block from Comerica Park, where the Tigers played. And I was a season ticket holder for a while, but one year I put my name into the hat to see, if I could sing the national anthem. They chose me. I did one. It went well. And then after that, I was doing the anthem for them, at least once or twice a month. And then I lived so close that anytime somebody didn't show up or they need somebody, they knew they could call me, and I could literally walk over and sing and go home for dinner.
Honey, I'm going across the street to sing the national anthem, but maybe 40,000 people are there. And what's for dinner?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
I hate
awesome.
it's that funny. Simple. I mean, Comerica is a place where the scoreboard is like most baseball plays are way out in left field, and so you didn't have to stare at the 44,000 people that were there. You could actually just stare over there, not worry about making eye contact with anybody. But singing national anthem is a weird gig anyway, because maybe a third or a half of the people aren't even in the stands. Half of them aren't really even listening. But it's a fun thing to do. And the Tigers took good care of me for a long time, and I appreciate it.
That's a great. I guess that was a side gig, I guess, right? For that, that's pretty neat.
I mean, it didn't pay anything, but it was just it was a blast to do, and couldn't hurt, but it was fun.
That's awesome. And now you're okay. So you're doing all sorts of creative stuff. You had a commercial photography business, right? I saw some of your stuff too. And I'm gonna if you're watching this online or listening to the podcast, we're gonna put links down to Bobby's website and everything, just to show you what he's done. And some of the photography you have is just incredible. Beautiful
you're very kind
too. Yeah, no,
thanks,
it's because I used to sell my photography years ago, and I got away from it. But I'm looking at your stuff, and I'm like, oh, this guy's really good. So you inspire me again.
That's the great part about photos, is they never expire.
They never expire.
If there's something you like, they're there for you. And so a lot of the stuff I sell is from 20, to 15 years ago, and they always stay with me.
Yeah, it's nice stuff. So you're doing the photography. You're a session singer, and I want to go all the way up to your I'll say your newest gig. Okay.
Yeah.
So if anyone watching this or listening to this, if you haven't heard of Leonid and Friends, I would say, and Bobby, correct me, last 7 years, maybe 6-7 years they've been around, online at least.
Online, Leonid started it about 10 years ago, but
10 years ago,
they've been touring the U.S. since 2019.
2019. So they've been touring the U.S. since for the last like 7 years. If you have not heard of this band or seen them, you've been living under a rock. These guys and girl, right? There's a couple of girls in the band too. The reason I found Leonid Friends was I was scrolling one night. It was during COVID, and I'm a big music guy, and I come across this band, Leonid Friends, doing a cover version of 25 or 6 to 4 by Chicago. I tell you, if you looked away, you'd think it was Chicago if you didn't watch these guys. The notes, the horns, everything, it was spot on, and it just pulled me in along with millions of other people. So now you are one of the singers in the band, and the reason I'm sitting here talking to Mr. Bobby Alcott is because I went and saw Leonid and Friends at the Wellmont Theater in Montclair with my wife it was in May. And I'd seen them previously at Gramercy Theater in Manhattan. I think it was 2019 or 2020. Met them after the show, nice guys from Russia and I think some of the Ukraine. And I'm watching the show, and here comes this guy on stage. And I'm thinking, that's funny. I haven't seen him in the videos. And it's you. And I'm looking and going, and you banged out a Blood, Sweat, and Tears song. And I said, holy shit, this guy's good. And I'm thinking, and then they announced you did a couple of songs, this and that. And I said, I got to reach out to this is why I'm reaching out to you. So I'd like to hear the story about how you, I'm not going to say stumbled into this gig. I believe in like things are aligned. It's sort of just a line for you. Tell me what you did.
Oh, yeah. I was a big fan of this band, like everybody else, on YouTube when they were in Russia. I would obsess about their videos, and I'm not a person that subscribes to a lot of YouTube channels, but that one was kind of one of those where, oh yeah, I need to know as soon as they put out new videos.
Right.
And then they announced in late 2018 that they were going to come to the U.S., I think after a lot of pressure, to come to the U.S. and do a tour. I was super excited. They said the first show is going to be Sony Hall, New York City. I thought, oh, perfect. So it was January 2019. I got my ticket, went to the show. It was fantastic. I made my way backstage, and I met Roman. Roman is Leonid's son, and he's the MC to the band. So he goes out and kind of talks everybody through the show and everything else. He's fantastic. He's a great band manager. And I asked him, I said, hey, I'm a photographer. Do you have anybody taking photos on your tour? He said, no, not really, not officially. And I said, do you mind if I just follow you guys around for a few weeks and take shots? He said, yeah, of course. So later on that year, I think it was in June, they came back to the area. They started in Asbury Park. And then they did shows at, I believe it was City Winery, and then up New England. So I followed them around for a little bit. And I was standing on the side of the stage during a show, shooting sideways at the band, just trying to get different shots. And I'm singing to myself these songs because, like everybody else, this is what was on the turntable growing up. I mean, these songs are absolutely embedded into my head. And I didn't realize that Roman was kind of standing behind me. And
this is great.
Said, hey, you didn't tell me you could sing. I said, like, I'm here to take photos. We never had that discussion. He said, well, you're a good singer. Maybe you come sing with us sometime. I said, oh, wow, that'd be fantastic. I'd love that.
Right.
Then COVID hit. And other stuff kind of kept us away. And then 2023, and they were coming back through New York and he called me and said, you ready to come up and sing with us? We're going to be at City Winery. And I said, oh yeah, fantastic. So went out there. I just did one song. I sang Vehicle by Ides of March with the band.
That's a tremendous song.
Extremely well. Yeah, I love that song.
It's so good. It's so good.
And afterwards, we were talking in the green room, and he said, I'd really love to have you sing when we come back to New York. I said, I'd be honored. I'd love to. I said, but just in case, I happen to be able to do kind of the entire range of Chicago. I can do the the Terry Kath low voice. I can do the Bobby Lamb mid part, and I can do the Peter Cetera high part. So if one of your guys happen to get sick, just think me, you know?
Right.
And at the time, I think he went, yeah, sure. And
you're secretly hoping, please, somebody get sick.
Yeah, well, you know, you never want
not?
that,
Right,
but
exactly.
I kind of really thought I would just see him next time we're in New York.
Yeah.
And fast forward to April of the next year, which would have been 2024. Sitting in bed, I'm scrolling on my phone. It's 10:30 at night on a Friday, and I get a call, and it's him. I'm like, wow, never gotten a call from him. So I said, hey, how are you? He said, great. Bad accent. I said, can you come down to Tampa in the morning, 8 a.m. flight? We need you tomorrow night. And can you learn 5 new songs? And I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, what are you going to say? No, exactly. The next day, literally the next day.
Literally the next day. So I stayed up all night. I learned all the music. Got on the plane, arrived like whatever it was, 11 noon. Checked into the hotel, went to the show, and kind of all started from there. So I did, I think,
that's awesome,
8 or 9 gigs. And at that time, I was doing the Terry Kath part. Vasily is our we call him our rock star. He's got this amazing, scratchy, gritty, low voice.
He's the guy with the bandana.
Yeah.
I met him after. He's incredible.
He's seriously famous. And I should say, a lot of these people are quite famous in Russia.
They are.
Danny, our lead singer, Ksenia, who, you know, is an amazing person. I'm sure we'll talk about her. And Vasily are all really well known in Russia. So Vasily got sick. I went down and I did his low part for him. And then after that, I just kind of became part of the family, and they knew they could call on me whenever. Same thing a year later. I ended up coming back to replace for a week or so Michael, who was doing our Peter Cetera, our high part, our tenor part.
Okay, yeah, I know that guy.
Went down and replaced him for a week, and then that would have been last year. And then last fall, I went on tour with them for, I think it was 10 days, to do some lead vocals and to do some percussion, doing some conga work and stuff like that. So and then this off season, the tour usually ends end of November. And then right after that, they called me and said, do you want to audition for a place in the band? And I did. And yeah, here I am.
Did you even need an audition there, Bobby? Since you were going up there, right?
I mean, you know, it was they sent me music that they wanted to hear me do, and a lot of that stuff I hadn't done yet.
Okay.
And at the time, they needed to they knew that Michael, our tenor, had gotten married and was starting a family, so he probably wasn't going to be coming back. So at the time, I was replacing him. Now I'm not a tenor, so I think in the meantime they were looking for a full-time tenor, and they found one. Now we have a new guy named Ty, who's that guy's.
Was he at the Wellmont show, Ty? I don't know if he was there or not. Yes. He was. Okay, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
and he's just amazing.
Yeah.
So and now I kind of sit right in the Bobby Lamb spot. But I can do, you know, highs and lows, and so it kind of works.
It's fantastic. And now you are a member of Leonid Friends.
Yep. I'm on the website and everything.
That's great, dude. Well, interestingly enough, if you guys don't know this, but they've got about 1.2 million subscribers across all social media, 300 plus million views. Like, it's insane. And now here you are.
Yeah.
In the middle of that. And you're so humble.
Yeah. You know, it's funny.
Great.
This whole band is
awesome.
Humble. And I tell everybody that'll listen that these are the best musicians I've ever been around, but they're even better people. And like I was saying before, you know, bands often break up because of personality disorders or conflicts and whatever. I mean, we don't have any more. I wouldn't say it's an inordinate amount of discussions, firm discussions, but we all believe in the project, and we know that's the most important thing, and it's great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, when I first saw them at Gramercy Theater, I guess it was, I forget the year, was it 2019 maybe, that Leonid was talking about, because the war was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was, and they had, I think one of the members at the time actually left to go back to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And you could see they sang this, they did it as well, I think, at the Wellmont. They sang this song, and it was very emotionally moving for the entire audience, because it had just started. And here is this band, incredibly talented, coming from Russia.
Yeah.
In the middle of this mess, this global fiasco.
Yeah.
And it made me really pause, like, wow, look at this. They're here in New York City. All this shit's going on in their homeland. And here they're singing, I'm not going to say it, almost as good as Chicago sounds.
It's a beautiful. I think you're talking about the a cappella song that they do. It's called Eta Rus, which
That's
is
it. Eta Rus. Yeah.
This is Russia, and it's really about. It's an ode to growing up in Russia when they were young, and they talk about how beautiful it was, and
right.
It's more of like a recollection. It's almost like Old Days by Chicago, but it's the concept is just about singing about their homeland and just all the recollections of all the good times they had growing up. It was. I think it was really hard to lose Serge, who went back to Ukraine, who was a fantastic human being. The band is all about, and they say it all the time, is bringing peace through music. They are absolutely apolitical. We don't talk about politics.
It's great.
They don't have anything to do with it. They don't want anything to do with it. And half the band lives here now in the U.S.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I figured that.
Yeah, there are a few guys that still travel back and forth, but they've embraced America as much as America has embraced them.
Yeah, and my God, has America embraced these guys? It's just crazy, the following that they have. Now, so who's and I've never met them. I met them all years ago. Who's the woman in the group, the blonde here? What is her name?
So her name is Ksenia. Ksenia. Yep. And her last name is Buzina.
Okay.
She is, I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but in baseball, there's a term called a 5-tool player, somebody that can hit for power, hit for average, run, catch, throw. She's that person.
She's that.
Not only is her voice incredible and versatile, and she can do anything. She also has a master's in international finance. She can speak and sing in 8 languages.
Oh God,
and
that's incredible.
As most people who have seen her note, that she is a strikingly beautiful woman.
When she comes out, I notice the whole audience like, she really is.
Yeah, she's like, and she attracts that attention, and she deserves all of it. And she might be the kindest person you will ever meet. So
that's nice. Yeah, such a talent, great talent,
incredible talent, and she, we're really lucky to have her. Really lucky to have her.
That's great. So now that you're a member and you go on tour with them, is Leonid, he's the guy, he says, in other words, he calls the shots for everything.
Yeah.
Like, does anyone, he does. So everyone sort of follows his lead. We're going to play this. We're going to do this. Okay.
Absolutely.
I get it.
And I think, Leonid is fully in charge of the music, and Roman is his son, is really in charge of the stage show and the look and feel of it. And I'm amazed at how hard those guys work. And I mean, when we're on the road, sitting in hotel rooms, and most of us are sitting there, twiddling our thumbs, waiting to get to the venue. These guys are on the phone. They're booking things. They're booking hotels. They're working so hard to make all this work. We're really grateful to them for doing all that. But Leonid is a master. I don't even know how to describe it, but that, the stuff that the videos you see from the band on the YouTube channel, he didn't transcribe those from sheet music. He did it by ear. He did all of it by ear.
I read that somewhere, and I'm thinking to myself, they've never seen Chicago live, and this guy, by ear.
By ear. And trying to pick out, and everything from Chicago in that early 70s and stuff like that was so super compressed. So it's it's got to be very difficult to pick out those tracks, those individual instruments and individual voices. But he just does it. It's incredible.
One of the best videos they have is they're doing, it was Chicago, but it was also Spencer Davis group, I'm a Man.
Yeah.
And when they did that, even through the whole percussion, it's like a long drawn out, every single bongo, drum, whatever the heck it is literally spot on.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it other than his attention to detail and his ability to direct sessions, to engineer sessions. And he does it all himself because he was a music producer in Russia before he started the band, and he didn't really even start the band. It just kind of happened. And that's why it's called Leonid and Friends. He just decided to make a video for his 60th birthday when he decided to retire. And he got his buddies, his studio friends, in to do the video. And then it got a ton of views. So they did another one, and then it became this thing. But he is absolutely magic and can hear everything. I think back to, and this is not a comparison. I just think like he's got the kind of ear that like James Brown had. James Brown, when he was on stage, he would he was so intent in listening to the entire band that if one of the guys would hit a bad note, he would hold up 5 fingers like that to tell him, you're fined $5 because I heard you miss that note.
Oh, really? Wow. I didn't know that.
That intricate ear that can hear everything. And that's what Leonid can do. He can hear every note of everything at the same time and know if it's right or wrong, if it fits, if it doesn't fit. And although he allows singers to range a little bit, it's important to stay true to the music because that's what people are here to listen to. I mean, we're just the vehicles, to be able to bring this music live to people. And and that's why when you watch these videos, they are so, as you said, like if you close your eyes, you're like, wait a minute, I'm listening to the original track.
Yeah, that's Chicago. That's Steely Dan. That's Earth, Wind and Fire. That's Tower Power. It sounds so. You sang Vehicle, right? Was it Ides of
March? Yeah.
So when you sang that, there was a guy sitting next to me in the audience. He didn't know. It was his first time. His wife took him to the show. He whispers over to me. He's like, "Is that the lead singer's son?" Meaning the original guy. I go, no. There's no way that's the lead singer's son. But he didn't know anything. He's like, because he knew this. He knew the song, and he's looking at you, and he doesn't know what Ides who they were. And he goes, "Was that the original lead singer? Because you sounded so much like this guy that the guy, he's like, is that the lead singer's son?" I'm like, no, it's not. But when you just had to say that there, because the guy I think he had a couple beers. Because him and I were talking the whole time, and but yeah. So now, did you bring that to the band, or did they originally do that?
No, they originally did it. Yeah,
they did. Okay,
yeah.
All right.
The only song that I have been featured yet, only because I'm brand new in the band, was we recorded "You've Made Me So Very Happy" by Blood, Sweat and Tears.
Oh, Blood, Sweat and Tears.
Earlier this year, I think it came out in March, right before we started our tour. So all of the other songs were originally done by other people in the band. But now we're always adding more.
That's great. Speaking of which, blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh.
So what do you prefer
Heroes.
to sing? This or this? I got Chicago and Blood, Sweat, and
come
Tears
on.
here.
I mean, I have always thought Chicago 2 is my favorite all-time album. Right next to Joshua Tree by U2.
Oh, you know, they just released a new song, U2. I'm a big U2 fan as well. But Joshua Tree, yeah, that's good
I mean,
stuff.
that's just, maybe it's because I was 18, maybe it was whatever, but that album is gold.
So that brings me to my next little round here with you. So we got the whole thing. You're Leonid Friends. Everything's going great. So I like to throw these crazy fictitious questions at people.
Sure.
Right? They're not curveballs at all. My favorite is this. You go into a bar, and this bar's empty except for one person sitting at the bar. It's a famous singer, musician, whoever, alive or dead. You've got 1 hour with them. Who would it be for you?
Neil Finn.
Who was that?
Neil Finn from
Neil Finn.
Crowded House, Split Ends.
Yeah. Wow.
He's a New Zealander, but he's
I know
been
exactly
in an
who he is.
Australian band. He is my all-time favorite singer-songwriter.
Neil Finn. Usually I get like Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Jimmy Page, that type of thing. But Neil Finn.
I just think the guy is amazing. Great. I think he's the best songwriter of our generation. But I know that's not necessarily a popular opinion. A lot of Americans don't even know who Crowded House is,
I know Crowded House is, but he was in Split Ends, Neil Finn?
Yeah.
That I did not know.
His brother, Tim, was one of the original founders in the very early 70s. In 72, they asked Neil Finn to come in. And then, he kind of spurred on a lot of the bigger hits they had in the 80s. And so when the band broke up, I think in 82, he decided to start Crowded House in 84, and then they came out with their first album in 86. Yeah, it's I
never knew that.
I implore everybody, if you're not familiar with Crowded House just go listen to his music. It's just it touches my soul.
They had that. So Crowded House, what was that song they had in 84, 85 when their first it was That's Something So Strong.
Yeah, it was Something So Strong was one of their first hits.
It was that. That's
and Don't Dream It's Over is their big. That was the big hit in 86. Yeah, and then they put out 4 more albums until they disbanded in 96, and then etc. So.
Oh, you know what I find interesting? Like, I follow all these bands. I'm a big 80s guy. As you can see, Billy Idol back here, and The Fix.
We both lived it, baby.
To me, and I know everyone, it was the best era. I like that late 70s, early 80s, and then but anything in that realm right there is fantastic to me. So I follow all these bands. They're still playing. A few years back, I went and I saw a Flock of Seagulls. I saw The Fix, Naked Eyes, Dramarama, The Romantics, Billy Idol. And this morning I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, Level 42 is still around. Remember these guys, Level 42? It's Something About You. They're still touring.
So Level 42 is my other favorite band of all time. Is absolutely.
There you go.
I
really,
from their first album that I somehow got out of a record store outside of Detroit, the original Level 42 album. I have been a massive fan, and I love everything they've put out. World Machine in '85. That album.
World Machine.
That's absolutely beautiful.
It's fantastic.
And probably my favorite song of all time, which is Leaving Me Now, which is off that album.
Oh, that's a great song. Yeah. And they're still, because I just started following them on Instagram, and I'm like, holy shit, Level 42 is still around.
I know. So I wish they'd tour the U.S. again. The only time they ever toured was in support of the Running in the Family album in '87. I saw them twice. Saw them once in Milwaukee and once in Detroit.
Oh, you did see them?
When they opened up for Madonna. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
I'll just go.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my next questions. So I've been to many concerts. I'm sure you have too. What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Peter Gabriel, I guess it would be the Us album tour, 1992. I saw him at
the Sledgehammer.
No, that was the
Not
So
so.
album in '86. So this would have been his next album.
Right.
Came out in '92. I saw him at, I think it was the Pontiac Silverdome. I think it was a horrible. I mean, that is a horrible place. Was a horrible place to watch a show. I can't remember that there is a video. If you look up Peter Gabriel live, 1992, there is a video, an entire concert video of that tour. And they recorded it in Italy.
Oh yeah.
That tour was that concert was brilliant. I mean, that guy.
Was it? Really?
I mean, what can you say about Peter Gabriel? But the music on that was unbelievable. The stage show was amazing. I think still the best show I ever saw.
Peter Gabriel, 92 on the Us. Okay, I was thinking 85 was like Sledgehammer, big time. That was okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So what's the most disappointing band you ever saw live?
I hate to say this. I hate to say this.
You can say it. You're amongst friends.
It was James Taylor. I can't even believe I'm saying that because I adore James Taylor. My wife and I went to see him when we lived in Indianapolis in '97. They have a place in Noblesville, just north of the city. And we went and had pretty good seats. It was outdoor, perfect night. The first half of that concert, I don't think he played one song that I recognized. And I just thought, why are we here? And the sound wasn't good. They didn't seem terribly inspired, and we left because he always takes a break at whatever his halftime is, for a second set. And we left. And it was just so disappointing.
That's too bad. Wow, James Taylor. I saw him. I think he's actually pretty good. My wife and I saw him too. It was good. But you
maybe like sometimes you just get a bad batch of medicine, and that just happened to be that.
Yeah.
But,
maybe I don't know.
It was funny you mentioned the Romantics. That is a band that I recorded with in the studio. I think 1990, 1991. I played drums and did vocals for them on a track, and those guys are fantastic. Wally Palmer is still rocking.
Yeah,
he's such a great guy. Still a friend.
He's still. I saw them on this. It was like this totally tubular 80s tour a few years back. Israel, and they came out and they did, the usual stuff. And then Mike Score from Flock of Seagulls came out and did his stuff. And then the guys from Dramarama did their stuff. And I was right there, I was 5 feet away. And I'm like, this is crazy because I was such a big fan of these guys. And I'm thinking, here I am, at this point in my life, and I'm 10 feet from Wally on the stage. And I'm like, you know what? Life's pretty good.
I'm telling you, nothing replaces live music. Nothing replaces being there, watching these guys. And it doesn't matter if it's their first tour or their 50th. It's still like I get starstruck and shell-shocked. I'm just, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yep. I know. It's crazy. So I got this Billy Idol poster. It's him hanging on the Empire State Building. So back in April of 2024, SiriusXM put out this contest, send an email here and win a ticket to see Billy Idol acoustic set at the Empire State Building. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Let me do it. So I did it, and I won 2 tickets. So my wife couldn't go, so I bring my sister, and Billy Idol and Steve Stevens acoustic, Eyes Without a Face, Flesh for Fantasy, Rebel Yell, and White Wedding. I'm 15 feet from him, got it all, put it on my YouTube channel, and I'm sitting there, and I'd seen him before. And I'm like, look at this guy. He's 68, 70. I don't even know how old he was 2 years ago. And he sounded spot on.
Isn't that amazing? I have such admiration for guys like that can still do it at that age.
I know. I know.
I can only be that lucky. So hopefully I'm still doing it in 10,
so
15
where do you
years.
See this? Listen, man, as long as Leonid's around, I think the band's still going to keep carrying on, man. So, but where do you see this going? I mean, here you are, part of I'm going to say global phenomenon of these guys, and you're part of it with 300 million views.
I know.
It's insanity. Where do you see this going? Just doing more tours? I mean, with Leonid?
Yeah, I don't think they want to stop touring. I think that's they're having such a great time, and we keep selling out shows, which I think means we're going to start looking at bigger venues. Right now, we're playing for a couple thousand people a night. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's a little less, but we have a great, the people that book us are fantastic. And look, I wouldn't turn a side eye to, touring Europe or Asia or Oceania. I think that'd be amazing. Then it comes down to visa issues and everything else, and that's not always the easiest thing to do, especially if they're carrying Russian passports in certain places. So for now, I think the idea, I hope, is to start maybe graduating to a little bigger venues, and I think they've done it the right way. I was talking to Jabad, the drummer, and he's been in all 50 states. He's from Russia, and he's been from all 50 states. And what's the average number of states that an American has seen? What, like 10 or 12 or something like that?
Yeah.
And
right.
They've done it the right way. They've gone through this the right way. They've started small. They didn't overextend. They let the music speak for itself. And now, now it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I wish I could tell you what the future holds for the band, but I'm honestly just you just going with the flow. I still can't believe I'm part of it.
You get out when you get out there and you're in front of 3,000 or 4,000 people. You're not nervous at all, right? Well, you're just out there.
That was the kind of the fun part of being one of the anthem singers for the Tigers. Crowds don't bother me at all now, because you start singing in front of 45,000 people. So a smaller crowd. It's weird. There's this inverse thing that I think a lot of entertainers have. The larger the crowd, the easier it is. The smaller the crowd, the harder it is, especially like if you're singing in front of 5-10 people. If I'm on a porch party with my friends, and they'll be like, come on, sing this song. I'm like, oh, and I want to freeze up, because it's the feedback.
It's Greg Hine from the Little River Band said exactly that to me about a month ago. He said, Bobby, when I was on stage in front of 30, 40, or 60,000 people, it was fantastic. He goes, but when I get up in front of 60 people and it's just me, my guitar, and he goes, I'm shitting in my pants.
It is nerve-wracking.
It's like, even though he's been in it for so long, he's like, I'm not. Yeah, I get it. And I said, really? And he's like, yeah. He goes, because it's too intimate. They're right in front of you.
It's all that direct feedback where you have no choice but to make eye contact, which is one reason I really enjoy wearing sunglasses on stage. I don't have to think about making contact, but and then usually by the end of the show, I've taken them off and it's all over. But it was great to have you at that show. We played the Wellmont, which is literally in my hometown.
It's I've been there. In fact, I'm going there Thursday night to go see Wild Child.
Oh yeah, the Doors. Yeah, band. Fantastic, man.
Oh, my God, these guys are. This guy becomes Morrison.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's fantastic. So, well, listen, I want to wrap things up here. Bobby Alcott, I mean, this has been a true pleasure having you on the Side B Session podcast. And if anybody's living a Side B, it's you. So I have this I have this theory. We all go through life with records of a side A and a side B. And side A is, you get married, you have kids, you have a job, whatever you're doing. But everybody, I believe, has this side B in the back of their head. No matter what, for me, it was doing something creative, because I do something completely different. I'm in medical sales. This is my side B, starting this YouTube channel and podcast, talking to people like you, diving into music and experiencing it together. And I think for you, you've been a musician, a singer for 36 years. Would you have ever thought that you'd be on tour with this band doing this? Like, this is your side B? Yeah.
No, the last time I toured, I was 27. Now I'm 57. I thought those days were long gone, and that I'd kind of, and look, like a lot of people, I didn't didn't continue touring. I didn't continue with bands. We had kids. We did, the whole family thing.
Yeah.
And now my kids are adults now. So it's so easy for me to be able to say yes. Like if I had small kids at home, this would not have worked. So the fact that it came when it did
do it.
is, serendipitous in itself.
It is. And it's, I wish you all the luck in the world with Leonid and Friends and the band. And, you've got, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I said, it's like not what have you done, but what haven't you done? Because you've done quite a bit. Don't need to put you on the spot. I've got some stories to tell. But you really have. I'm sure you do. And so when's the next tour? What's coming down the line for you?
We are off until early September. We're going to get together in Boston to do some rehearsals. And then we kick off the fall tour September 13th in Buffalo. Then we do a couple shows in Pittsburgh, my wife's hometown, place I love dearly.
Oh, nice.
And then we kind of zigzag north to south through the country. We'll do 48 shows, I think, in the fall.
48 shows.
It's intense.
Oh, wow.
And
I didn't think it was that intense.
It's a lot of shows, and we get to go to some cool places, especially for me. We're back in Detroit, my hometown. We'll be in Champaign, back playing a place where my old band played 30 years ago. Playing Indianapolis, 2 blocks from where my wife and I used to live, and then we end up. The tour always ends up in Honolulu. The last 2 shows are the day after Thanksgiving. I've never been to Hawaii. My wife hasn't either. So, it's kind of perfect.
So she goes on tour with you?
She doesn't go with me a lot. She's a marketing executive, but she, when she gets a chance, she does come. She'll come to the Pittsburgh shows. We're going to bring the whole family out to Hawaii. Because we've never been there, and
that's great.
Can't wait. Going to be exhausted, but it'll be
48 shows in a 3-month period.
It's pretty much 4 to 5 shows a week, sometimes 6.
Wow.
And I would love to give you this amazing view of luxury buses. No, we drive ourselves, dude. we have 5 vehicles.
That's great.
And I drive with the other singers in a Chrysler minivan.
Right.
So
no kidding.
We
That's
do all
awesome,
our driving
man.
ourselves, and that's fun because we've gotten to know each other so well, and we enjoy the trips. But to be honest, most of the time I have my AirPods in because they're talking Russian the entire trip, and every half an hour I get a look from one of them.
Awesome.
I'm sorry,
hilarious.
Bobby. We not mean to leave you out. I'm sorry. We are just talking about.
That's great.
Fine. I'm
That's
good.
great.
I'm listening. It's all good.
It's all right.
I'm looking forward to Apple adding the Russian live translation to the AirPods. When that happens, they're all in trouble. So
you don't know if they're talking about you or not. God, you guys should film a documentary on the road. That's quite a road trip.
Actually, one of the things I'm going to be doing in the fall is documenting as much as I can through photography and through a Patreon on my site where
that's a great idea.
And so people that kind of want a little bit of inside stuff can sign up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. These people grew up and performed in Russia, and now they're on tour in the U.S. and they're going around the States singing for people and sold out shows. I mean, it's a beautiful story.
It really is.
It really is.
And all of them deserve all the praise they're getting. They're just fantastic. And a lot of them are leaving their families, 10,000 miles away to come do this for months at a time. Right. And it takes a lot out of you, emotionally and mentally. To be that far away from your family for that long, but they do it and they love it, and it's a tribute to them.
That is awesome. So Bobby Alcott, where can we find you online?
Most everything you can find at bobbyalcott.com. where you can lead to my singing and my photography, the only two things that I do fairly well in life. And you can always find us at leonidandfriends.band is the best place to see where we're touring and the latest videos. Of course, YouTube is a great place to catch up on all the previous songs they've done. They've done a lot.
No, they certainly have. They certainly have. Well, I commend you. It has been a true pleasure having you on the Side B Session podcast, Mr. Bobby Alcott of Leonid and Friends, and this prolific music career that you've had has led you into this blessed opportunity. And I wish you the best.
Thanks, Bobby.
Luck,
I appreciate it, buddy.
It is fantastic. Right on, Great talking to you.